All right, everybody, welcome to the CFM Roundtable. And right there, front and center, you got Andrew right in your screen, in your house, coming live. This is CFM Roundtable from Daddy Leagues. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going live. The technical difficulties have been worked through. I think we got it. We got a lot of things for different people that are coming up this weekend, so we're going to do this tonight, and it'll be a lot of fun. Lots of new Madden 18 information for all of us to talk about. So let's not waste any time. Let all of you guys introduce yourselves. I hope it shows the same on your screen as it does mine. I got Andrew, then Raul, then Pootie T, and it kind of goes on from there. So I'll let you guys go in order. Introduce yourself. Tell people who you are and what league you're representing.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Expert representing the Dynasty, top PS4 Sim League. Man, just excited to be on another podcast. Appreciate you putting this together. Big shout out to Daddy League of the Year. Big respect for that. But man, just an honor to be with y'all again. Let's go.
I appreciate that, Andrew. We are just one of many good leagues out there, and it is an
doubt.
honor. All right, Mr. Logan, go ahead, my man.
All right, man. You know what? Gridiron Gamers, we've been around for 8 years. Part of my thing is I'm not good at promotion. Like, I don't want to say I'm the best league. Listen, we have a Daddy Leagues page. I just joined Twitter reluctantly, but the old man's on Twitter, so I'm pumping up the content. Listen, it's GIG/Daddy Leagues. You'll find us. If you don't find us, you're not a part of the league. I'm okay with it. Let's go. What, that's not good?
Pootie T, my new favorite guy in all of Madden that I've met. Pootie T, the best name in the world. Go ahead, bro.
Well, what's up, guys? I'm from Madden Ballers Club, MBC. We've been around since Madden 12 and just play year round. And just glad to be a part of this. Thanks for having us, and thanks for having a little talk with everyone. And Andrew, I really like the sign behind you. That's really nice. Props for that.
Oh, no doubt. Rep Jesus every day. That's
right.
That's my number one.
That's right.
And I'm hoping I'm saying this right, but Raul, introduce yourself. Tell us who you're with, my man.
What's going on, fellas? I'm Ruel from Blindside Dynasty. It's my first time here. Excited. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. We're on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, Blindside CFM, on Daddy Leagues, DaddyLeagues/BSD. I'm here for Commissioner Johnny. He was here last week. I know you guys heard of him. Just here representing, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being with us tonight. Let's just jump right into it. We've got some new information that has dropped about Daddy Leagues, listen to me, about Madden 18. And let's talk about it, the passing mechanic. I'm going to be honest. I'll tell you up front, all right? I'm going to just go ahead and get this out the way. I'm not a fan. I'm too old for this stuff. I can't be pressing 9 buttons to pass the ball. It is Vision Cone 2.0 for me. I'm not a fan. But you know what? It's an addition that some people will like, and they'll be able to get used to it. So let's kick it off. What do you think about the new passing mechanic? What do you like? What do you not like? What are you hearing?
I think it's a great addition. I think Madden got it right finally. I think this is going to be the closest to the target cone that, like you talked about, but this is going to actually allow you to be more accurate with your quarterback that has those attributes. Now, I say that, but the other side of the coin is always attributes better count, because if you can take a 64 quarterback and throw like he's Aaron Rodgers, then target passing means absolutely nothing. But if you can have a quarterback like a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and you can go out there and place the ball where you want it for your receivers, this is what we've been asking for. Too many times in Madden 17 have we seen quarterbacks with a team with a 65 overall. They don't have great attributes, but they're making passes like they are Joe Montana reinvented. And so I think that's where EA finally decided to look at it and say, okay, guys, we got to do something to level the playing field, so where the top guy is not on the same level as the bottom guy. And I think that's what they did with target passing. Everything that I've read about it, here's the thing. Once you select a wide receiver before the play is started, that's going to be your main receiver. You will not be able to switch off of that guy once the play is snapped. But you can still throw to other wide receivers in the play. But that will be your target passing wide receiver. And I just think overall, everything that I've read, It's going to be a bonus for us that play sim style football.
Well said. Preach it, brother. What do I got to say anything for? Literally, he said it all, man.
Find him on Twitter. He's brand new.
Yeah, brand new to Twitter. Come on. Putty T, what do you think about it? Look, I'm going to be honest. Like, I 1,000% support and agree the fact that, yes, I want stats to count. Yeah, there's nothing worse than somebody going out and get a 97 throwing power, but 40 awareness, 60s in the throwing accuracy and beating you with that guy. But
Yeah.
why do I need to press 9 buttons to be able to pass the ball? Like, why can't it just be the way it's always been? If I want it inside, I'm going to press the left. If I want it outside, I'm going to press the right. If I want it high, if I want it low. Like, why do I need to press 7 buttons to pass the ball? I think I counted it up. It's like 6 or 7 buttons that you have to press if you're going to do this, like, really precision passing. I just don't understand why we can't make stats matter, make it easier to understand. But maybe it's just because I'm 37 years old.
Yeah, well, I can see both sides of this. Like, I mean, for me personally, I doubt that I'll use it. I'm 40, so I agree on your side of it. It's like it's a lot of buttons to keep up with. I do good enough just to pass with what we have now. I do think for the other guys who can learn to use it, it can be a good tool, to be able to place the ball where you want. If you want to over the shoulder fade or something, you can have that precision. But I also agree with it, what you guys are saying here also. Especially in the sim style play mode, the attributes for the quarterbacks better count. If you got a guy who's got low attribute, you might tell him to pass it 5 yards upfield from that guy, but he might pass it 10. He shouldn't pass it on the dot where you tell him to, just because it's target passing, if attributes actually matter, which is what we're all, have been talking about, which is what they say sim mode is about. So I guess we'll see it, in action, and we'll see. But, I think we've all, as Andrew mentioned, are kind of tired of watching guys use 65 overall quarterbacks and just torch leagues just because you can, So I think it's always good to add options. I always think it's a good idea whenever any dev of any game can add more options for players to play the game in better ways. But I also see from what you're saying too, Nate, some of us guys are going to be like, this is a whole lot to try to keep up with. I think I'll just keep with the simple passing, which I'm glad that they left it to where you can do that. So
yeah,
it's kind of like an option. So I'm glad that they added it for people who can use it. I'm probably not going to use it, but a lot of people will, and that's great. So
speaking of technical difficulties, I'm over here frozen like Sub-Zero. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my video camera and internet over here. But Raul, what do you think about all these buttons? Are you in the old man's club, or you look like a young whippersnapper? So you probably love the 25 buttons to pass the ball.
No, not really. I mean, change is good. I like what they're doing with the game, But at the end of the day, as a community, like, I don't know who wanted it. Not many people asked for it, but it is what it is. We get the hand that we got dealt. We just got to deal with it. It's going to be a learning curve. We just got to get through it, But eventually, I think it will do a lot good for the game, I think the change that they're making to it will improve the game a lot, improve the gameplay. So I'm excited. And like what Puri said, the attributes, like, that needs to matter. You don't want a 60 overall guy throwing bombs 6 years down the field. Like, that should never happen. Like Aaron Rodgers throwing that should be on the dime. Okay, that makes sense. But Johnny Manziel doing it, you don't want to see that, So all that factors in.
Yeah, 100%. I think that we are all in the same boat there, in agreeing that, stats have to matter. Like, they just have to matter. We're even, and maybe we can get to this in the open table, but we're even having discussions in the league of, what if we kept it, and there's always a balance to me between, and some of your leagues, like, maybe you love this, and these are not shots fired. Every league has to decide what they want, but like super realistic, and that balance between also having fun and having things like, I think that for my league, I just don't want things too complicated. When I hear guys like, I have to print out the rules to play a game, like, that's probably too much. How can we kind of balance this to where we have what we want, but it's not so confusing and so deep that guys have to read a manual every time that they play? So we've even talked about like capping speed and acceleration and these kinds of things. I just think that, I don't know, there's some neat stuff out there that a lot of your leagues do that is intriguing to me that we may try. Let me just pause real quick. I know that I see Jordan is in here creeping on us, but Jordan, I think, is from my league. I think he's one of the guys who are on my board. Hude, if that's you, feel free to unmute yourself, but I'm not going to force you to. But let's just jump in this discussion, keep it going. Let's talk about the blocking mechanic. Now, we talked about the passing mechanic. What do we like? What do we don't like? I do like what I'm hearing about the blocking, right? The blocking has been tweaked. It's been messed with. It's been made even better. So what do you guys think about the blocking and what you're hearing about the blocking? I have always hated the fact that if you run into the tail end of an offensive lineman, you can forget it. That big old anus is sucking you up, and you're not getting off of that guy for a couple of minutes, okay? And so it seems like they fixed some of these things. What are you guys hearing about the blocking? What do you like? What do you dislike? What are you worried about? Talk about it for a second.
Again, it's going to come down to, did EA really let attributes come into play? So just some of the things that we're hearing. First is that you can ID the mic. That is going to be so huge when you have teams that love to blitz you, and you can actually move your coverage with your offensive lineman to pick up those blitzers. But the other thing that I'm super excited about is there is no more where you can come out with 3 down linemen and shut down a power run game. That's probably the most frustrating thing to me in Madden 17 is that you can come out with 7 defensive backs, a middle linebacker, and 3 down linemen, and all of a sudden I can't run the football. So I think that's one of the things that EA looked at was offensive lineman awareness to where they will actually pick up blocks when they don't have somebody just lined up over the top of them. They're going to go and help out. That's one of the biggest things that I like. And then on top of that, let's move one step further in the game. Your wide receivers, when you catch a pass, your wide receivers became a ticket-holding fan in Madden 17. They literally stood there and watched you get tackled, where if they would just turn around and pick up one block, you could go from an 8-yard catch to a 50-yard catch and be a touchdown. And that's another thing that they've talked about that they fixed. But once again, it's one of those things where we can talk about it, but until I see it in gameplay, until I see it actually happen, I'm going to – I love reading the blogs. I love reading all the articles. But until I have the PlayStation controller in my hand and I'm actually seeing it on the screen in my house, I'm going to be skeptical. But everything they're talking about is exactly what we've been asking for now for an entire year for Madden 17.
Andrew's what making me want to get the helmet and like strap up. Let's go. Like I love the energy and the passion.
No,
let's do it.
Let's get it.
All right, blocking, fellas. What do you think about the blocking? Logan, if you say that you agree again and you get one sentence, I'm going to just kick you right in the teeth. You better talk to us tonight.
I've been around for 8 years. I'm just playing. No, listen, the blocking, it's literally the most important thing in football. And I think we mentioned earlier having to create rules, that are 5 pages long and turning people off. We talked about, the vision cone might be messed up because what if people overuse it or abuse it? But listen, if they fix the blocking, the offensive line, you fix football. It is the most important part besides quarterback in football. So if they fix it in the game, everything is going to be better. That's just point blank. Now, do I know if it's a U-shaped? Do I know if it's going to work? No, we won't know. And I hate all those people like, I played EA Play. I know because I talked to the developer for 2 minutes. You don't know anything until we get it where we can, game test it for hours. We don't know. You played the game maybe 15 minutes. Then there was a line of people waiting to play it again. I'm sick of these people saying, I know. Clint told me. Of course he's going to tell you he's trying to sell a game. Let's be real.
Hey, Logan, why don't you tell us how you really feel? Don't hold back. I mean, just let it go.
Is that enough? I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, I want everything to work right. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think we're just over-evaluating some of these features just because we want some information. We want gameplay, and we haven't seen gameplay. So I guess we
still haven't seen it.
It went to EA Play, though, so that's our fault.
All right, Pootie. Hey, it's a podcast. Y'all can't be quiet now. Y'all got to talk. Pootie T, Raul, jump in here. Talk about the blocking.
Well, I think we're all just trying to be polite and let not interrupt each other. So that
Look at the last podcast if you want to hear interruption. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're doing it this way now. For me, like they said, what it sounds great. A lot of the stuff sounds good. I like the fact that if you have your entire offensive line at a higher awareness, that they play together better. If you have a center that is really high rated, it doubles the effectiveness of everyone else. All those are great things, and that's great to hear. The only issue is, and like everyone's saying, we hadn't seen the gameplay. Year after year, for how many years straight have we heard the blocking has been improved? And it doesn't really feel like it. I'm sorry. I've been playing for a while, and it doesn't really. We've heard every year the blocking's been improved. The blocking's been improved, and we've seen a whole lot of mess this past year. So I hope that it is improved, and and like Logan was saying, I think one thing that people tend to forget when you first get something new, it feels fresh, it feels exciting. So you have that euphoria for the first 15, 20 minutes. So yeah, if you played it at E-Play, you might have thought, oh yeah, this was awesome, because you might have saw on a couple of plays where something that you didn't see before. But there's also a lot of things that you probably didn't notice because you only played it for 5 or 10, 15 minutes that you will notice it after you've played it for a month. So after that newness wears off, then you start picking up on all these things. So I think it's a kind of a coin of two sides here. Yeah, you might have played it at E-Play, and I'm not saying that it's not better, but I also think that a lot of times we have this euphoria when we first touch it to say, oh, this is really improved. Then after we play it for a while, we start noticing this and that and that and this and that isn't really improved at all. So it's going to come down to, does it play like the blog says more often than not? Yes, in real life, people on offensive line will miss a block. That happens. But is it going to be one of those things that happens more often than not? If you have a high-rated guy, is he more often than not picking up what he should or not? So it's going to come down to, once we actually get it in our hands, play it for a month, then we can see what's really happened. So I hope that all the stuff in the blog's true.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting real frustrated with my $150 a month internet that's freezing over here like Sub-Zero. So Raul, talk about the blocking. What are you hearing? What do you like? What do you don't like?
Well, blocking, one thing for sure is that 3-down linemen, when you put down 3-down linemen and second and short, I should be able to run the ball down your throat no matter what.
Oh yeah.
So they need to address that. 2 Maddens ago, it was all about inside zones. Anybody that ran inside zones was picking up 6 to 7 yards, at least 5 yards minimum, every single play. They kind of fixed that last year. So I don't know how they're going to look at it. And one of the key things was in Madden 16 rather, is impact blocking. That's all you had to work on for your O-lineman. Nothing else. You didn't have to work on pass blocks or run blocks. All you had to do was just get the impact blocks up, and you're going to get blocks. This Madden, however, they changed it. That was good. They made some improvements. So I give them props for that. New Madden coming up, Madden 18, we haven't seen anything. We don't even know what the game is going to look like. So until the game drops, until we play it, until we go through a couple of seasons, we won't be able to know anything about it. And by then, we'll be looking forward to Madden 19. So who knows what they're going to fix? It depends on who they're targeting. And it's all about selling the games. That's all they care about. They want to entice. They want to get the new people interested into buying the games. They know we CFM dudes, we suckers. We're going to come and get the game. We have no other options. So at the end of the day, we have to deal with whatever they give us, whatever they deliver, And it sucks, but it is what it is. So.
Nate, didn't I just say that a couple weeks ago and then TX jumped down my throat? Listen, I want to clear this up real fast because I said a very similar thing last week. I'm not saying everyone on the development team hates the game. They're gamers, but there is a contingency of EA people that just want to sell the game. I hope Clint, to go back to the blocking, he was in the NFL for a cup of coffee, right? I hope he's right and he fixed the blocking. But until we play it for hours and hours, we're not going to really know.
The cup of coffee comment just broke me up, man. We can't be taking shots at these dudes' NFL careers, man.
Hey, that cup of coffee was longer than anybody else on this screen. I would have took that cup of coffee.
Yes, sir.
Dude, Starbucks coffee.
Make it a double.
I'm not saying it was
I
a
would-
shot.
Oh man, I would have loved to have that cup of coffee.
Some people pay a lot for coffee, man. That's not a shot at all.
Well, look, we've moved to this. Let's just open this up now. Like it's funny. Like sometimes we have like a whole agenda that we never get to, and now all of a sudden tonight nobody wants to talk. But let's just open it up. One of the things that I think I'm hearing a lot from my league, and so I'll just be transparent with you guys. So a lot of my owners are upset. I know a lot of people are, that there are no true CFM improvements, like the mode that all of us mainly play. Like the reason we buy this game, that's the reason we run leagues, is for that CFM movement and for that CFM game mode. And so I got a lot of people that are just upset that it's just the same thing. Again, this is going to sound like a shot. I promise you it is not a shot. Sports Gamers Online is like legit, and they do so many cool things. I'm super jealous that that's not what I get to do for a living or whatever. But I did find it funny that I wasted 15 minutes of my life the other day to watch their video where basically it was an interview saying nothing's changed. Oh yeah, no, we didn't. No, that's not. No, same thing as last year. No, it didn't change that. Like it was a 15-minute video for them to say everything is exactly what Madden 17 had. And like that's how thirsty we are for content, that we're making 15-minute videos to say nothing is different. And so I get my owners who are like really upset that there are no changes in CFM movement, but I also want to be really patient and say, look, they fixed some legacy issues and the gameplay is supposed to be better. Yes, we've all heard that. Yes, we don't know until we get the game in hand. But my hopes is if they can really get that gameplay done, now maybe that attention will move into making CFM a deeper mode. So that's just what I want to kind of start the discussion. But it's an open table. You guys talk about what you want to talk about.
Can I start first? Because really I have a question I want to find out from everyone else and then build off of that. How many rules do we have in our leagues that have to do with CFM type things? You might have one doing with free agency. If they fix the legacy issues and the gameplay issues, that's going to help CFM.
Sure.
I agree. And here's the thing we have to also understand is that MUT is making money for Madden.
Yeah.
I mean, it is their money cow. That's their big mode in every single Madden. And now they're going to add long shot. And that's the two things that they're focused on. And I think one of the things we have to do as a CFM community, and I heard other people talk about this, is we have to band together as a group. It can no longer be, one league wants this, one league wants that, and we're coming at developers on Twitter. We're trying to find their Facebook pages. You got people standing outside their houses throwing darts. It's one of those things, like, if we don't find a way as a community to come together and go to EA and say, look, these are some of the small things we want changed just to make it a more enjoyable experience, not only for just the casual owner, but then you got leagues that are diehard 365 days a year, passing out trophies at the end of Madden 17. They got T-shirts going around. I mean, we got websites. Those are the people right there that if we would come together as a group, we could go to EA and say, fix this. But for right now, all we can ask for is gameplay at this point. And I think Logan's right. If they fix some gameplay things that they have, it's going to make the CFM experience just that much better for us.
You know what? Let's go there for a second. So I wasn't going to talk about this, and maybe because it's so fresh. So, okay, last night we found out, and honestly, is a total honor that we got picked for DaddyLeagues League of the Year. But let's like be adults and take a solid look at this. Like, this is just like, this is a made-up thing by a guy who runs a really awesome website. Like, it's none of us, like, this isn't a real big, massive thing, okay? And so I say this because you brought up CFM, we got to bond together. And that's why I'm doing this, because I've got to meet super cool people like Andrew and Logan and Pootie T and like other really great guys that are out there doing this. But I got so much shade last night, I had to put on a jacket thrown at me but from leagues like saying, oh no, our league is better and we do this and we do that. Like, I think we'll never come together because we're too busy crabbing it, pulling somebody else down who's trying to get out of the bucket when it's like it's not needed. Like, we don't need to do that, man. Like
Okay.
Every league is just different and does different things.
Right.
I think that's going to be what holds us back from bonding together because we can't get over ourselves.
Okay, so let me address that, Nathan. As one of those guys that is in a league that threw shade at you, let me address.
Dude, I'm still chilly. I'm still chilly, Andrew.
First off, shout out to my homie Lord Farquad. I love that dude. That's my brother. Y'all can check us out on the DML network on Total Access. Just a stand-up dude. I will say this. I saw some of the shade that got thrown at you, and I'm just firsthand. Let me say that if you don't think you're a top league in Madden, then I don't know what you're here for. That's what I know. That's what we here in the dynasty for. We trying to be the top league, and we chasing guys like grown folks. That's the guys that we're chasing. You know, we see the kind of content you guys are constantly pushing out, the envelope y'all are pushing, and that's what we're trying to do. But I think at the end of the day, you're right, Nathan. Can we get past the I'm taking my ball and going home because I didn't get picked as the best league, and band together? Because I'll tell you this right now. I know everybody in the dynasty, we respect every other league that's out there, but we coming for next. That's just how we are. That's the type of league that we are. And it's not going to stop coming from our end. That's just what we're going to do every day. But we still got respect for everybody because we understand what we go through in the CFM community.
Sure. We
get kind of put on the back burner and told, hey, you know, they put us in the corner and say, y'all need to sit over there and be quiet. We'll let you know when it's your turn. And that's where I say CFM we have to band together.
Yeah.
But it's still going to happen.
And I can't hate that at all. Like I told somebody else this, like I can respect and honor the passion for your league. Like that is a really, like, I can respect that. But Pootie T backed me up in the old man game. That's a young man's game. I'm too old for that shade throwing. Like, honestly, like, I'm a minister. I love people. Like, I got pulled into this past week into so much Twitter beef that it has nothing to do with me. I am honestly just here to have a platform for us to have a voice and do my part. And if somebody ever says, you know what, these people over here are doing the exact same thing and they're doing it better, I'll gladly fade off. I've been doing this for 17 years. I'll just keep on trucking and do my thing over here. I'm just trying to farm a platform for all of us to come together. But, Andrew, I think you're right. Like, we got to have guys with your passion, but we also got to come together. Pootie T, don't let me hanging out here, man. You're in the old man's group. What do you think about all this?
Hey, I'm 30. I'm 37 with you. I'm in the old man's group with you. I'm not.
You look like a young man, though. You look like a young man.
I got a son about to turn 19 in a couple days. I'm an old man with you, but that's just deep inside. That's just who I am. I'm trying to be the top in everything. And Nathan, I'm with you. I'm a youth minister at a church, and I got the same passion. I got the same passion with my youth group that I have in Madden. By the way, I am undefeated in my youth group at Sherwood Baptist. I know some of y'all have probably seen this link. Y'all are probably watching. Y'all cannot beat me. Y'all know that. But yeah, I can't. I'd love to hear what Pootie got to say about this.
Well, it's like this. Like I can remember, like 5 years ago. I feel like the CFM community has gotten better about this. 5 years ago, man, I can remember dudes like. They wouldn't even like commissioners would not even talk to each other because they acted like, oh, you're trying to steal somebody from my league. You ain't coming up and you're talking to me. Like, I was like go around and just try to talk to different commissioners, like get ideas and throw ideas off each other. And they're like, oh no, we can't talk to you. And it's like, I didn't understand that competition of, you know, we can't even talk and like just communicate. You know, it doesn't make no sense to me. So I do think that it has gotten better over the years in that sense. I do see more commissioners willing to open up and talk with each other and, stuff like that. So I think that that's good. I think it's good that, you know, people like Andrew and them have the passion that they have. And, you know, some of these leagues out here, they're doing like a lot of stuff. These guys have the passion to do it and they have the knowledge and know-how and they're going after it. And that's great. You know, I think it's good that each league kind of represents their owners and you got different leagues with different owners. I know like our league has a more, I guess you would say, an older player base. Like those dudes don't even want to get on Twitter. Like out of my league, there's probably like 3 guys that's on Twitter besides me total.
Yeah, so, me too.
You know, like But then you get other leagues where everybody in the league's on Twitter, and that's cool too, you know. So it's just whatever fits for your player base. So that's what you're providing. That's, you know, giving that service for them, and you're providing a place that those type people can enjoy what you're doing. And, you know, I like watching all these videos at all these different leagues out here. I try to look at, you know, different things that, you know, guys are posting. You know, it's great seeing like the live draft stuff. I mean, all that's awesome. You know, I mean, I really like all the different content people do. And at the end of the day, everyone can like bounce off of each other and say, hey, this is a good idea. We can implement this in our league, make our league a little better, make it a little more in depth. And, you know, like you're saying, we got to come together. We got to come, and, you know, I don't know how they're going to do this when Madden comes out, but, you know, Rex talked about they'd be able to do different changes for the different play styles. So when it comes out, we're going to have to be able to come together. I don't know if they'll use a hashtag, you know, sim style or comp style or whatever, if you're like tweeting them saying this needs to be fixed in this mode. But we got to be able to come together when we use those things and say, hey, you know, we're kind of asking for the same things whenever they see in sim style, you know, needs. We need to be able to be on the same basic pages as each other, you know. So I think it's going to be important for us if we really want to see the sim mode part go forward the way we want it to. So,
yep.
Bro, you've been quiet tonight. What do you think it's going to take for the CF movement to come together?
It's definitely going to take a lot. I feel like if there was some sort of community chat within the CFM community, just built in Madden, where all the commissioners could get together, all the users, all the owners could get together, drop whatever thoughts they have, and Madden would just feed off of that. That would be something they could implement if they wanted to. Will they do it? I don't know. They're too busy with month and everything else that's going on, you know? But like most leagues, what happens is that you only have one voice. You have the commissioner who's trying to outreach, who's trying to get other users. He's trying to do everything all by himself. You have a few admins that are helping out here and there. But not all users are committed to the cause. And you cannot do it by yourself. You need the whole league. You need everybody's voice. And as a community, that's the only way to get bigger. That's the only way to get stronger. Like our league, we just got everybody to get on Twitter, which is great. Now, most leagues, they can't even get 32 users. They can't even fill up the league. How are they gonna get users on Twitter? You know, so they just, instead of like, you know, us fighting against each other, we just gotta find a way to get together, talk about it. You know, let our voices be heard. At the end of the day, one man cannot be the show. You know, it's a movement. We just gotta do it together, stick together, and somehow we will prevail. We just gotta get through it. You know, somebody gotta crack that shell. Once that happens, we will be all right. That's just how I feel.
Now, Logan, I can see it's eating you alive, but before we hop on over to you,
I'm
going to call out.
It kills me.
I got to call out my boy Shop, though. Shop, you've been ignoring my DMs, all right? I'm calling you out right here, right now, on the podcast. I've been trying to get you on this show, but you so busy, you can't even answer a DM. I know you see them. I know you read them, Shop. But the reason I'm calling Shop out is because Shop is trying to do that. He's got that CFM movement website. I got to be honest, I already got my hands so full. All the content that you guys see, if anybody pays attention to what we do, that all comes from me. I do all of that content, and I run more leagues than just Madden. We have FIFA. We have a wrestling league. We have a golf league that Pootie T plays in, and I do content for all that. So I got my hands a little full, but I know that Shop has this CFM movement website that I have signed up for. It's got a great place for commissioners on there. So if you haven't checked that out, take a second, look at that. Maybe that's the way that we go. But Shop, I'm calling you out, bro. Answer my DMs for a second. Logan, talk about it. I can see something eating you up.
Man, first of all, he's gotta break that WNBA news on NBA Live. Just really, for you. Secondly, I looked excited because I started a GoFundMe page so we could get you some sunglasses for your shade. And lastly,
just give me a jacket. I just need a big jacket.
That's right. But lastly, okay, listen. Everyone's like, oh, I want to be the best league. I want to be the best league. Listen, when I started, I wanted to be the best league too. But you know what I realized? Some of the younger leagues, they have the answers. But a lot of these bigger leagues won't listen because they're too busy producing these great visual contexts. And I'm sure you know the leagues I'm talking about. One in particular I won't mention because it's not my podcast. But you guys are too busy promoting yourself and promoting these big events. Pay attention to some of these smaller guys. And I mentioned that on a podcast before. a lot of these competitive people, they have tournaments, right? So in a big tournament, all these tournament players are coming together. They know where to go, Los Angeles or Las Vegas, or they know EA guys are going to be there, so they're going to have their ear, whether it be a problem or one of the other big, competitive players. We don't have that. We don't have a hub to go to, whether it be a Discord, like you guys mentioned, whether it be a Hangout. I think what we're doing here is good, and we got to grow upon that. So hopefully we might have a meeting ground, whether it be, a physical meeting ground or a virtual one. We need something, and we need it to grow. And we need this idea of, oh, I'm too small of a league. I can't voice my opinion because Nate's been around for 18 years, and he's the best league on Daddy League. So what the hell do I know? I'm going to keep my mouth. We need people to talk, because what's going to happen is 4 people are going to have a voice in this sim community, and we're going to have to make rules because these 4 commissioners who happen to be idiots, whoever they may be, have just broken the game. It's just like the competitive market. Besides, the competitive market has a meeting place. We don't have a meeting place. We need that place. I don't know if it's here, but tell me where it's at. I'll come like Pokemon Go. I'll set it all up. I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, so I want, because I know Andrew, he's itching, man. He's itching. I can see it in his face. But Raul mentioned something, and I really think that after, I want to keep these going as long as commissioners will be willing to do it. But I think a one whole podcast just around what commissioners do. Like, I think it is why we do it. I have no clue. I think I do it just because I enjoy creating a place where guys enjoy hanging out and things like that. But all the work that goes into being a commissioner. I think it would be great just to talk about. So I think League Crawler. I think there's a lot of different things, and I'll connect all the dots here in a second. Then we'll go over to Andrew. Like, I think League Crawler is a part of it. Daddy Leagues can be a part of it. Shop CFM movement can be a part of it. I'd love to see some kind of combined effort. I hate that everybody's kind of trying to do their own thing, but things. I think it would be interesting to have a podcast just about things like I experienced recently. I think every league has a right to make their own rules, right? You have a right to say, I want 1 billion rules, I want no rules, and I don't think that makes one league better than the other. That's how you decide to run your league, and I think every league needs to have their own flavor because there's 1 billion different owners out there that want to play 1 billion different styles, so they can find a league that fits them. And I don't think it makes one league better than the other. Again, not to take shots at my boy Andrew, because I really do like him. I don't do the best league thing just because I think that every league offers something really totally different, and I don't think it makes one better than the other. We are not better than any league out there. We just offer stuff different than other leagues, and a lot of the same stuff. We're just out there trying to give content. So I had a quote-unquote commissioner join my league, but just couldn't find my rules. Couldn't follow them. He was talked to at least 10 times. Nothing but attitude and defensive when you talk to him. And it just finally came to a point where we were like, hey, bro, this isn't working. So, no big deal. We're just going to part ways. You go do your thing. And the next thing I know, he goes all over League Crawler saying that I have changed the rules to make sure I win. Let me let you guys all in on a secret. I'm a 500 player. I'm 8-8 most seasons. I haven't made the playoffs in 2 seasons. So if I'm such a sucky commissioner, I suck at breaking the rules to make me win because I don't win. It's just, again, I think it's crazy what commissioners have to deal with and what they have to go through, and I think it would make for a great podcast. But Andrew, I think you guys do so many good things, and I do respect the passion, right, that goes behind wanting to, quote-unquote, be the best and offer your owners the best. But I also know that what you're saying is got to happen some way, somehow, that we have to all come together and make sure that EA hears our voice. But I'd also say this, and I think you guys would agree, we have to do it in the right way. Like, I don't understand the pitchforks and the fire torches outside of people's houses because that doesn't help you earn a voice. All it does is hurt your voice. We have to come together and present our side of things in a much better way.
Yeah, man, you hit it right on the head. And look, shout out to Dion, the commish of the Dynasty. Goes through a lot, been a great commish. I know when I first joined Dynasty several years ago, we couldn't get users to agree to a time to play. It was at that point. But I mean, he's worked so hard, and you're right. It takes a lot to be a commish of a CFM league, especially one that has been around longer than 2 or 3 Maddens, because you're dealing with 31 different personalities as owners, and to get 31 guys beside yourself on the same page is a constant battle. Just to get all the commissioners in your league on the same page can be a battle.
Yeah.
And so try and get 32 different owners to do one thing, sometimes it can be a headache. And I think that's where the CFM community kind of gets left behind. If you listen to what these MUT guys are saying, they're all screaming for the same things all year long. And guess what? They're going to get what they want. And if we could get CFM community to, as collectively as a group, scream for the same things, you know, and then be able to do it in a manner that's respectful, because listen, nobody is going to listen to you threatening them on Twitter and them go, you know what, maybe he's got a point.
You're right.
Maybe we do need to fix that. No, when somebody threatens me on Twitter, I just hit the block button. It's time for you to go away. I don't have to deal with you. And that's exactly what the EA developers are doing. And I promise you, if we could come to them with one clear voice, regardless what league you're in, man, we could move mountains in the Madden community. But until that happens, we're not going to have a voice. We're not going to have a seat at the table, because EA developers are going to go where the money is. And okay, so here's the only way to do that. You have got to get, just like everyone's talked about, some way to get us on the same page. Now, we could all hash out our stuff in a podcast, in a group me chat, in whatever we want to do. If we want to call each other the worst league, the best league, but when we go to the EA developers, we got to have one voice. And it can't be one league yelling at Rex for this, one league yelling at Rex for that. And that's where it kind of gets lost in all of the nonsense that you see in social media, because it's not one voice. It's 40 million voices yelling for something different. And then, unfortunately, those voices that don't know how to talk to people, that don't know how to type 140 characters with respect, those are the guys that get the most attention. And that's the negative attention we're trying to get rid of in CFM. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. When the Dynasty did not get picked as Daddy League of the Year, Expert was upset. I was mad. I was mad because, man, we have busted our tail all year. But listen, I'm not going to throw no shade. I said I'll shout out all I want. Y'all are a great league. Y'all been around for 46 years now, I think. You know, y'all were back. Y'all had a league back when the first Mario Brothers came out, and y'all was in a league playing Duck Hunt together. Look, y'all been around a long time. But at the end of the day, we all need to be on the same page, whether we're the first league or you're the 140th league. Yeah. But we got to come together. And until that happens, and I don't know what the magic button is. I don't know what the magic tweet needs to be to make it happen. But as commissions of every league, we got to get with our owners and say, look, guys, come to us with what you want. And then as commissioners, we're going to come together and figure out what we can do, whether you're on the PlayStation or you're on the Xbox. That's the other thing. Platform to platform, it can't make any difference. It's the same Madden game coming out.
Yep, I agree.
Look, let me ask a question real fast. I'm not going to make a statement. I really am asking a question. And I don't mean this to be funny, although I had a lot of fun today, so you probably think I'm trolling, but I'm being honest. Do we need like a president or a union or some kind of, like, what do we do? I'm being serious. We say we need one voice, but who's going to be that voice? What do we do to put these in action?
Well, we tried to get Nathan to step up, but he just said he's got way too much on his plate. He can't.
You ain't trying to get me to step up.
Hey, I don't know who that voice is. I don't know who the voice is.
It might be Shop if he answers some DMs.
That's a good point. Shop, answer a DM, help CFM out, man. Hey, it could be Shop. It could be Daddy Leagues. It could be League Crawler. It doesn't make any difference. It could be Expert from the Dynasty. I will be the voice. I will go to a meeting with Rex and Clint and sit down with them and bring them a gift and tell them how much we love them, and then put our demands on the table. If that's what it takes, that's that. I don't care what we got to do, but it's going to take a lot of work, and we're a long way away from it.
So let me ask you this. I think that's a good question. We can, if you other guys have some stuff that you want to throw in it. Here's my other question that I'll attach to Logan, so we can keep Logan's question going. Plus, this question is, and this is intriguing to me, and I really mean this because I could care less. I'm old and ornery, I guess, but I don't care about not seeing gameplay footage because it doesn't. I got to get it in hand, and so you showing me somebody else playing it doesn't help me at all. Why all this uproar and rage because we don't get to see gameplay footage?
Well, I'll go ahead and answer. I think part of that reason is, for one, they've set the standard for years where they did that, and they used to they was showing it back in March and April, and now here we are a few weeks away and they haven't shown anything. So I think people have grown to expect that. And also nowadays, most products that you go out and buy, a lot of people, I know I especially do, tend to research something before they buy it. If you're going to spend your money on it, you want to know what you're getting. You want to see what you're getting. You want to look at reviews of what you're getting. And before a game comes out, there's not going to be a real review, so you're going to have to look at the gameplay. Now, last year, I remember they did quite a few live streams of the actual game, of them actually playing the game. To me, if they're going to show something, if the game is as good as you say, show it in a live stream where there's nothing edited. None of the wonky stuff is edited out, and you're only showing what looks good. You're showing straight up raw footage. If you want to show for me, if I'm running a business and I have a product that I want to show off, that's how you show it off. You show the raw product and you say, here it is. There's no trickery here. There's no editing here. This is it. This is what you're going to get. And that's what you want to do. And, to be honest, in the video game industry, I don't know of any video game that just comes out and doesn't show you anything of it beforehand, which I'm not, we all know EA is going to. So I'm not saying that they're not, but I think where they continue have pushed it back each year, and now they're getting so close to the launch and not showing anything. It goes along with the stuff I said earlier about, we hear a lot of things every year that this was fixed and that was fixed. Last year we heard twice in 2 different patches, Rec said rack drops were fixed, and they still aren't fixed.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying he's a liar. I'm just saying this is a fact. And it's these type of things that have happened collectively over year after year after year that people have put up with, that it just makes you doubt what they had to say. And if they're not willing to show it, that makes you doubt it even more. So it's partially because of past things that EA has done that causes people to feel this uneasy when it seems like they definitely don't want to show you what the gameplay looks like, So I think it's a collective of all that together. It's not just one thing, and it's not just necessarily why I want to see the game. It's just I want to see these things that these blogs are saying. I want to see this in action. I want to see it running in action without it being edited. They talked about today, these content creators went down there today and videotaped. That's great. But don't come back and show us edited stuff that you only show on display in that play. Show the raw stuff. Show it running out, and show every bit of it. So you're not just showing one little highlight of this player and this player. Show the whole field. Show how the guys are blocking over here on this run play. Show how the wide receivers are going upfield and blocking on that run play. All those things, they need to be shown. If you want to prove your product, that's what you got to do. It's 2017.
Why am I not surprised that a man named Pooty wants it raw? Like, he just give me the raw stuff right here in front of me. Look, I will say, Raul, I want you to talk unedited. Just give me it raw. But I laughed to myself when they were showing photos of the detail of stickers on the back of the helmet, but no CFM improvements. I was like, look, keep your stickers. Give me some CFM improvements. I want that instead. Raul, talk to me, man. You're quiet over here. What do you think about all this?
Honestly, show of hands, how many of you guys do you really think that they will make serious improvement this Madden? We expect pretty much nothing.
I did.
But I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker, so I'll admit it.
So you hope for the best, obviously, right? But we have no idea what they're going to throw out,
Sure.
So we're at their mercy no matter what. At the end of the day, until 2K does something about it, we have no option. We needed another competitor, somebody that could come up to here, be like, you know what? Throw something decent out there. Give these people what they want. Until then, we have no voice. We have nothing. And even as a community, we need a platform. We need to get together, and we need a platform. But who's going to provide that? And like you guys mentioned, is it going to be Twitter? Is it going to be what? We have no idea. Yeah, we're like a bunch of chickens running around with no head. We have no idea where we're going, but we need to get to go. We need a voice. Somebody has to step up, be like, you know what? I'm gonna be that man. I'm gonna go up to Rex. I'm gonna tell them about all this. Until then, I don't see that happen. You know, so there's no hope. Honestly, we're still gonna go by it. We're still gonna play the game. We're still gonna run our leagues. You know, we're still gonna bust your ass talking about who's the best leagues, who's not the best, who's this, who's that. Blindside is we have 32 users that are committed to the cause. It's about making the league better, making the league good. We are a great league, but as a community, how far are we going? Nowhere.
Yeah.
We're still stuck. So without a movement, we're not gonna get it. We're not gonna go any further. You know. So we need to find a way to get together. And I don't know how that's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna step up and say something about it. But we need to decide on that quick before we start throwing $60 a year every single year for another 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, as long as we play the game, you know? But, yeah.
I'm going to give you guys a 5-minute warning as we kind of continue to wrap this thing up. We got 5 minutes. Raul, I don't know what we got to do, but, man, you got that super just cool swag vibe. We got to get you on here every single time.
I'll be here every week, yo. I've never been a part of this. This is great. You know, Johnny told me to come in, hop in, and say what I got to say, represent BSD, you know, talk about everything, talk about football, talk to you guys for a bit. I said, yeah, sure thing. You know, why not? I'll be here every week.
A shout out to my man over at Daddy Leagues and my man over at League Crawler. Thank you for the swag, but you got to update me, man. If I'm going to be on these podcasts, you got to send me some new shirts. And I don't know what a man got to do after 17 years of running a CFM online, but EA, you got to hook me up with a code 1 year, man. Don't make me pay for the game 1 year, man. What's a man got to do for a code? 5 minutes, fellas. Why don't you put a little bow on this? Give me some closing thoughts.
You may get a code, but the only
points.
code. Yeah, the only code you getting is for something with MUT. You're not getting no free game.
Exactly.
You're gonna get a 90 overall Tyron Smith. That's about it. That's all you're gonna get.
That's all you're gonna get.
Closing thoughts. Let's wrap this baby up. Let's put a bow on this. We'll go one by one. Andrew, give me your closing thoughts, my man.
Okay, my closing thoughts are real simple. EA, I think, truly does want to make this the greatest game possible. I don't think anybody sits back and says, let's just keep putting out the same content over and over again and not making it the great game. I think they truly do want to make changes. I think some of the problem is that as bad as some of us think 17 was, and if you ask me, it's one of the worst Maddens they've put out is Madden 17. And that's why I know a lot of guys in our league are just itching for some gameplay. At this point, I don't even care if it's live. Just show me something that says Madden 18 in the boner. And I think once we get in our hands, we are going to have things that are improved. And then there's going to be something else that we'll find wrong with the game because that's just what we do as gamers. There'll be something other in Madden 18 that we're going to ask to be changed in Madden 19. And we're going to scream about it for 12 months until Madden 19 comes out. But I think the biggest thing for us as a CFM community is that we just keep taking strides. And I think we've come, like Pooty talked about, we've come a long way from where CFM started. And we just got to continue to take strides. I know the guys at the Dynasty, 32 guys were in it, whatever it takes for us to put CFM on the map, to make that something that the developers have in their ears every single time they sit down and have a meeting. I want them to be like, hey, guys, what can we do to make the CFM experience better? That's where we got to get to. And the Dynasty is on board, whatever we need to do. And once again, man, I just appreciate y'all letting us be a part of this. Big shout out to Nathan putting this stuff together. This takes some work. This is not just, just throw 5 guys on a screen and ask a couple of questions. I mean, it takes timing to get everybody together. And so I appreciate you taking time out of your personal life to make sure this happens. But, man, much respect to you. And let's just keep this going. I can't wait till the next podcast comes up.
Logan, go ahead and put a bow on it from your end. And I will say I have a fuming mad wife sitting in the other room on the other side of this wall waiting to get her hands on me. So, Logan, put a bow on it.
Listen, I want to go back to something I said last week. When I said I think developers really want to make this game good. This is my point last week when I first opened the show. and it got minced this week, and I got some bad feedback. But then I said that there's some people in EA that only care about the bottom line. They only care about the finance. That's true. How many of you guys have a job? Okay?
Yeah,
I think I
don't
do.
work.
I'm going to guess that some of you guys do your job with passion, right? Okay? You might care. Let's say you work at a hospital, right? You're taking care of people. You really care about that patient you're taking care of. You develop a relationship with them. But if your boss says, go to this other room and take care of this patient, you better do it or you're going to get fired.
Sure.
I know Rex cares about the game. I know Clinton cares about the game. And all these stupid Twitter people, if you come at these people and threaten their lives and their families and their dogs, and you're going to burn,
That's dumb.
you're dumb. Okay? But we got to understand, Mutt makes them money. Mutt brings in money. What do we do for them financially?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we're kind of a pain in the ass, and we don't provide any financial benefit besides buying the game. We don't play Mutt, so we're not putting, we put $60 in their pocket. Well, some people put $1,000 in the Mutt. So you guys got to understand, the CFN movement has to come at things differently, because we can't come at things like a mad, ultimate team player and say, I spent, $2,000. What about my team? Why did you? We don't spend $2,000. So we talked about finding a voice, a collective voice. We have to be realistic about things. And we have to understand that there's only 6 months or maybe even less to change the game. I mean, the cycle isn't very long.
Yeah, sure.
And they have bosses. I mean, so there was people that wanted to change the CFM. But, I mean, how do you change the CFM when you got so many commissioners that have so many opinions? We have to come together. That's the one thing I hope you guys take away from this. In closing, if any commissioner's listening, hit up Nate. He's a great guy. He'll have you on. I don't care if you've been, a commissioner for 10 years or 1 month. Come on this podcast. You will learn something. You will have a voice. We will get to know you. We're not scary people. Well, I am. And one last thing. All these people saying, I want to be the best league. I'm going to chase I'm a fat white guy. I ain't chasing nobody. Okay? We can walk together down the road, because I'll tell you what, if I run, it ain't good, man. I'm a disabled man. I ain't running anywhere. It's ugly when I try to run, I'm telling you, man. But so we have to walk together. Hand in hand if you want. We can skip. We have to move together. It has to happen. I'm done.
All right, you heard it here. Logan's ready to skip with all of us. Now, evidently, we hit a little bit of a passion button for him. I will say this, though. If you spend $1,000 on this game, we got to question some life choices here. My wife would absolutely. Oh, she'd murder me. $60 every year is she's looking at me with the side eye, like, you doing what? Okay. Pootie T, Pootie T, the best man that I've gotten to meet with the best name. Wrap us up, put a bow on it, buddy.
Well, everything that the other guys have said so far, I totally agree with. One thing that I would like to add, we talked about attributes needing to matter. One of the things, or a few of the attributes that I really look key to, physics have got to enter this game at some point in time. I mean, one of the biggest issues that I take with Madden for a very long time is the extreme lack of physics. Now, they claimed to made ball physics last year, and we seen the ball tip going 25, 30 yards down the field. That's not physics. I don't know what to call that. That's not physics. I mean,
oh my God, that's y'all have a rocket when it does that.
Yeah. We've seen these little tiny DBs taking down big running backs. I had Derrick Henry in my league last year. I had DBs tackling me left and right. I'm like, what is this? This is all right. You got bigger offensive linemen that can't push a little defensive linemen. It's got to have physics. Now, I will say the running backs don't glide on ice like they used to, but it's still pretty close. I still don't see much foot planting like they talk about in Madden 25. I still don't see it. I mean, every once in a while you might do a juke and you might think you might have seen a half of a foot plant, but you can still pretty much glide around. We got to have physics in this game. If you want to make football, you got to have physics. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. And the other thing I want to say shout out to Daddy Leagues for help sponsoring this, for what he's been doing for the community for the past 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
Dude's been there for the community. He's never left the community hanging. He has been there trying to improve what he can to provide for these leagues. And I wouldn't run a league if I didn't have that site. So shout out to Happy and Daddy Leagues. Great job. Thank you, Nate, for putting your time in. Tell your wife we're sorry for taking your hour this evening, but we do appreciate it a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
She's texting the hell out of me right now. I'm just going to tell you that right now. She is ready for me to get out of this room. But, yeah, shout out to Pappy for everything he does for Daddy Leagues. Now to the man with no buttons on his shirt but enough swag to put us all to shame. Raul, put a bow on this baby.
All right, man. Thank you for having me. I hope the game is everything they say it's going to be. Obviously, we're looking forward to it. I know I am. 17 was a shit show. I'm ready to put it behind. So I'm just hoping for the best, 25th, we'll find out. That's all I can say. But thank you for having me. Nathan, you're doing a great job. Keep it up, Talking about the voice. You are a voice, man. Keep it up. Of course, Daddy Leagues. We would not be here without Daddy Leagues. It makes our life so much easier. Obviously, we know. We see it. So keep it going, And thank you for having me.
I appreciate that, fellas. Thank you to Daddy Leagues for everything that he does. League Crawler was going to be with us tonight, but he was at church and had some things going on and is not going to be able to make it. But if you're not a part of League Crawler, you need to go be a part of that. It's an easy way to not only get votes about your own league, but see potential owners that are out there. For all of us to just kind of warn each other about who's out there and kind of the way that they treat the leagues that they're out there. But I'd also just encourage anybody that uses League Crawler, do that yourself. Like, do your own homework. Go find out what is out there and find out exactly your own personal experience that's about the league. Take the whole thing in general. So thank you, everybody, for your time tonight, man. Thank you guys for being a part of this. You guys are truly the best, and there's a lot of good people. So here's some homework. If you watch this live or if you're watching the recording of this, you need to give it a like. Smash that like button. You need to go ahead and promote this. It'll be all over Twitter, all right? Get it out there. Let your leagues listen to it. A lot of really good dudes on here that are doing a lot of really good things. If you're looking for a league, here is a great starting point, all right? Start hitting some of these guys up, asking them about their league. Find the one that fits for you, for your game style, for your time commitment, and for what you're looking for. For all of these guys, thank you so much again for being on here. For Daddy Leagues, for League Crawler, for all these guys on Twitter, for Shop, even though I called you out a little bit, all right? Answer those DMs. But go sign up for Shop CFM Movement website. Check him out. Rex, all these guys, Clint, if you guys watch this, all right, we just want to be a positive voice. You tell us what we need to do, and we'll do that. Yep. Again, thank you guys. We'll see you again in 2 weeks when we have another podcast. By then, hopefully, we'll have some more gameplay footage, some more things to talk about, all right? You guys have a great night. God bless. Peace.
Good night.
Peace.
We out.